If you don't think Penguin is a badass, I got news for you. He is my freaking hero. I mean, think about it. He's grotesque and overweight and probably smells like fish. Yet the dude is loaded, has giant birds doing his bidding, sits back and does nothing. Oh, plus he's samurized. Hashtag life goals, am I right? As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X, and today we're looking at a very extreme collectible. This is a statue by a company called XM Studios. Now, XM Studios has been creating DC characters in a samurai line, so they've been samurizing all these characters. A few years back I did this video right here you can check out, but since then they've released more, and I own almost the entire line. Now this is Penguin, obviously an adversary of the Batman, and I'm going to be honest with you, this might be one of the top 2 statues out there, and it's not necessarily because of the Penguin character himself, but as this goes around on the turntable, you can see this has so many amazing things going on. So it's going to be an awesome addition to the entire line. Now, if you want to see what he's going to look like in the collection, make sure to check out the Extreme channel social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and now, with recent changes, Twitter. But today we're going to do an Extreme review on him. We're going to talk about paint, sculpt. There's so many different display options. We're going to look at some close-ups. And as a disclaimer, a lot of people aren't digging this samurai line. They don't like that they're taking traditional DC characters and just samurizing them. And while I understand that, one can't deny the beauty and the cool concepts of some of these statues. Not to mention, like I said, all the different display options. They actually give you too many different display options on these. But let's dive in, and there are some amazing things on here, and then some stuff I would change. So first thing we have with this piece is they are somewhere in the Arctic, which made sense because that's where penguins mostly live. And there is snow all over the place, and he has ordained everything. He has treasure chests and jewels. Some you can see, some you can't. They have fish everywhere, which assumably not only the penguin's creatures eat, but maybe Penguin himself. And he is lounging back, almost like this is a throne piece, almost like he is a king. Now, this concept is so incredibly cool because it really shows him as the daimyo he is, which is kind of a lord of feudal Japan. The penguins are his slaves, and there is intricate stuff everywhere. Not only on this cart behind him, which assumably they carry him in, but like I said, there's gold and tons of umbrellas, and he has them serving him, and he just looks incredibly badass. He looks very proud of himself. He looks kind of scary. He looks like someone who knows his shit, and I absolutely love this. I think XM Studios knocked the concept out of the park. I think one could argue there's too much going on, which I think that's certainly a valid argument, but it's just more to look at and more to enjoy. So I think the concept is 5 out of 5. They keep taking it to the next level with these samurai pieces, and I'm really impressed. Design, I am also impressed. It's almost exhausting though, I'll tell you that. The assembly took quite a bit of effort. So let's look at that in the unboxing. Extremely big single box, and as you can see, 36 kilograms. Slight art box, and yes, it was purple, which I thought was kind of cool. Standard XM foam and the straps. Thankfully, there were no breakages. The first layer right here, look how many different pieces there are wrapped in wax paper and plastic. Here they are uncovered. And then the second layer had the base and a lot of parts of the, I would say, the carriage that he rides in, and a few other miscellaneous stuff. Had the standard XM Studio plaque that they're doing with most of their pieces now. All right, let's measure this piece. So as I said, it's 1/4 scale, meaning 4 times smaller than a real life version. The widest point are the grips or handlebars are about 29 inches. The base is about 21 inches or so. For exact dimensions, check out Cosmic Chase Collectibles website. That's where I bought this from. I'll talk more about them later. It's about 17 inches deep. And the tallest part, without this optional umbrella, is just under 20 inches or so. So this is definitely a space hog. As you see, the majority of the statue is actually not Penguin, but it's everything around him. But I think that adds to the concept like we talked about. So now let's talk about all the different things you can do with the displays. First and foremost, this umbrella right here is actually optional. So here's a picture of it with the umbrella. Here's a picture without. There's also an umbrella you can hang, and you can pretty much hang it anywhere, or you don't have to hang it at all. An umbrella that you actually fit in the back here. Here's a picture of that. And again, you don't have to display it. The penguin that's serving the penguin has a gun here on the tray, and this is optional. You don't have to display the gun. Penguin also has a necklace that I think really adds to it, but if you didn't want to display this mixed media gold necklace, this is what it looks like. There are 3 portraits. One where he just looks really sneer and happy, and that's kind of my favorite. He's kind of enjoying the life of luxury. One where he's a little more pissed off, and I do like this portrait. I just don't think it goes well with the theme. And then one with the samurai mask that looks ugly as hell. And while I like the fact that it is samurai, it just is too ugly for me, so it went back in the box. His right hand is a fan. You can have a fan here where he's kind of fanning himself like a daimyo would. Or an umbrella that he's holding down. His right hand, he can be holding a pistol or a samurai sword. But then last but not least, you have different colors of jewels that you can place on the treasure chest out front. So you can't go wrong. You can definitely find a display option you like. Now also with the packaging, they had their standard assembly instructions, our URL, and an art print that's in the form of the statue. Well, I think these are cool. I don't really have spots to display them, so they're going back in the box. Now, everything fit together really well. There is a little bit of mixed media right here, and some of the stuff just sets in there. So, for example, these fish in the back of this backpack just set in there. So I'm not worried they're going to fall out. Same with the umbrella, but it is something to be aware of. I think one option they should have done is made a lot of this extra stuff optional. While I plan to display it at all because it adds so much to it, it's almost too much. It'd been nice if they could take away the carrier back here and just focus on the penguin or offer a different version. So for those reasons, I think the design's a 4 out of 5. It's above average, but I think it's too much. Now we're going to look at the paint and sculpt, and for the most part, it's done pretty well. There's one thing I absolutely hate on it, but also with that, there is so much different stuff going on, it's hard to focus. Check out what I mean. I legitimately could probably spend 20 to 30 minutes just talking about the paint and sculpt on this guy. So let me show you a few of the switch outs here. So just specifically on here, I'm looking at the mask. It looks okay. I think it should have had more of a shine to it, but I'm not really concerned with this because I won't be displaying it. The hair could be better too. While it's not something you directly see when you're looking at the statue, it has too much of a gloss effect, gives it kind of that plasticky vibe. They should have individualized the strands more. And there's not really a lot of criticisms to this statue. So the mask, okay, the hair. The biggest criticism we'll jump onto first is the snow. It looks like crap. Not actual crap, but unless you ate, a lot of snow cones or something. But the paint is okay. There are some highlights of blue and almost looks like some yellow, but it's more reflecting off of some of the other pieces. So thankfully they didn't put yellow snow. But I think the texture is what's really off. And it just looks too flat. I haven't seen a lot of snow on XM pieces before. Prime 1 does really good snow. Some customs do some really good snow. And some customs do horrible snow too. But I think it's a huge miss and I just don't dig it. And even the rocks below, I think that's a miss as well. It's like whoever was working on the rest of the statue, especially with the sculpt, way better than the base. And a few of the accessories look a little cartoonish, but I think that helps go with the vibe and the hilarity of it. Like this dynamite right here, or some of the dynamite coming out of the backpack. Although, like, look at the zipper and detail on the backpack or the strap. Just unbelievable. And the carriage back here, I love this. So, looks like real wood. They did a fantastic job with that. These tassels are mixed media. And then the ornate gold decorative parts, the swirls and penguins, just look awesome. And in here, you can't even see it really well, but the treasure chest, and then there's a safe on top of that with his top hat. You know, I would have preferred a switch out where he had a top hat. This umbrella right here is actually fully sculpted, but look at it. It looks like mixed media. It really does. So I'm kind of doing a brief overview because, like I said, we could spend so long looking at certain pieces, but they just did a really phenomenal job. I think the penguins are done well too. You know, it's hard to sculpt fur or feathers, and they did an awesome job. And the other thing, as we go through all this, you'll see the paint's incredibly clean. You know, especially for so many shapes and variations, I think they just really knocked it out of the park. The wicker basket here is fully sculpted. When I originally pulled that out of the box, I thought it was a real wicker basket. So very impressive by XM Studios. Same thing with like the cushion here that the diamond's sitting on. Looks like it's a real cushion, and there's a little bit of bleed over on the paint there, but otherwise I haven't seen much. Really incredible. Now on Penguin, let's look at just like his gloves here look awesome, fantastic. I love the shine, like the winter gloves and then the ruffles on the side. Really nice job. The diamond on his finger. His skin's pretty pale, but he is a penguin and you don't see much of it. But one of the negatives I'm going to say about this is that robe, that texture that's falling over, it has these decorative patterns on the back. Let's see if we can kind of see them through the carriage here. Almost a disadvantage because you can't see that awesome aspect of it. There's the penguin's portrait. Could have been a little better, but they're mostly covered by the hats. But I love how the robe falls. Really adds to the statue. And again, some of that ornate design of his daimyo, I always say it wrong. The way those banded or the bow ties there, I think that could have been done a little bit better. This umbrella looks fantastic. The gun looks awesome in his right hand. The portrait, the actual front of it, other than the hair, I think is phenomenal. I love the coloring on the skin and how there's variations from the tip of his nose to around his eyes. The fat folds look great. Look at his teeth, really impressive. And then his eyes just bulging out. That great sneer, you know, folding his eyebrows. So much stuff to look at on this. It just doesn't end. I think they did an absolutely amazing job. Look at the treasure chest here. Little details like, you know, obviously a female penguin you'd think here because she has a tie in her hair. The resin effect and the water they're offering him. It is truly phenomenal. I mean, I hate that snow though. I can't stand the snow. A few other small nitpicks, but overall very impressive, especially for how elaborate it is. All right, let's start with the sculpt. I think Penguin is phenomenal. I love all the intricate detail. I think they did the penguins good, which is kind of hard to do, like the fur and feathers. The ornate stuff on the carriage is awesome. As we talked about, the snow is trash. So honestly, if the snow wasn't so bad, I would give it a 5 out of 5. But because there's so much snow, it's a 4 out of 5 to me, despite the fact some of this is done really well. And I'm almost in the same boat with the paint. I think the issue with the snow is more sculpt related than paint related. However, paint could have elevated it. You know, some more crystals or something in there. I just absolutely hate the snow, but I love everything else. I will give the paint a 5 out of 5 because they had so much to do on this and they did it pretty well. Now, speaking about value of this piece cost a lot. And if you've watched some of my samurai reviews before in regards to XM Studios line, you know that some of the pieces go for very high in the aftermarket and some do not. This one, I don't know. Original retail price was 1,600 Singapore dollars. That's about 1,200 US. But the problem is you have to have it shipped in from somewhere else. Like I said, I love Cosmic Chase Collectibles. That's where I got mine from. There's a link for them in the description below. They have every XM piece imaginable, great customer service, and very fast shipping. which I absolutely love. However, the shipping, which is the way the world is right now, was also an extra like $350. So you're over $1,500 all in for a 1/4 scale statue. That's a lot. I remember 3 years ago, a 1/3 scale statue, which is bigger, would actually be $1,000. However, they're running in the $1,500 range. But you get so much with this. That's really impressive. And the edition size is relatively low. They only made 500 of these. It was $4.99, but I'm rounding up. Sue me. So I think this is a more expensive piece in the line, but I think I could get my money back. I think this is going to sell out. It's one of the best ones. Penguin is an integral Batman villain. We don't have a lot of Penguin statues, whether they're samurais or not. This one, I don't think would have to be exclusive to the samurai line. I think it would fit in with other lines as well. So I think that's a big advantage. So honestly, I foresee this one going for a lot more. I think this is a 4 out of 5 on value, despite the hefty price tag they give you at the beginning. Now, does it have the X factor? Is it a 5 out of 5 statue? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is now my second favorite in the line, other than the Shogun. The one on horse, you can check that out right here. But this is pretty incredible. It's almost tied with that. I love what they did with this. I think it's a 5 out of 5 statue overall. Really impressed. XM Studio continues knocking these out of the park. I really don't have room where I wanted to put him because he's a lot bigger than I thought he'd be.
That's what she said.
So now I have to limit some of my future decisions when it comes to buying some of the samurai line. The last one I have on order is the Red Hood, this piece right here. So if you want to see that when that comes, make sure you've not only liked this video, but you've subscribed to the channel and you've hit that bell notification. Also, you need a comment as well. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me know what you think of Penguin. I really appreciate you watching. Check out some of these other videos. In the meantime, take care of yourself and hit that like button. Hit that like button. Please, please.